What's your tell me I'm not the only one who does this weird odd habit. I highlight text with the mouse while I'm reading it so I don't lose my place. I'm calling the cops. This isn't that weird, but whenever I have a small piece of pizza and a big piece I always eat the small one first so I don't finish the big piece and then become sad because the last piece is a small one. I learned that most people when out of breath just take deep breaths and get back to normal. I've always had a thing where I had to hit the perfect inhale. When out of breath I'll take several deep breaths but I never feel quite right until I can get this one breath that feels as if it fills up my lungs completely and the others just never made it. I mentioned it in a biology class in high school and that's when I learned I have asthma. I can't talk on a cell phone and sit down at the same time. Got a call while on my, normally, 1 mile walk. Ended the call after 6 miles. I tend to pace if I'm on the phone. I don't know why, but it's just something I've always done. Oddly enough, I don't feel the need to do it at work. I eat stick pretzels by breaking them in half and swallowing the pieces whole. Yes, sometimes I almost choke but this doesn't stop me. What the frick? I've been told this is weird. When shopping, I never grab the first one available. Buying a movie, I don't want the one on display. I want any other one behind it. That box of cereal up front looks fine, then someone else can have it. I have to take the one behind it. I definitely do this too. I think because the item at the front is the display item that gets handled most frequently before purchase, like a book. Have fake conversations in my head, but on occasion say my half of the conversation out loud, either to no one or to anyone in the room if I am not careful. I don't usually say anything out loud but I'll make the gestures I would in my fake converse, like an exaggerated shoulder shrug or rolling my eyes. Whenever I wash my face or submerge my head, I have to wipe my eyelids before I can open them, even if they are not particularly wet. Me, washes face, uses wet hands to wipe my wet eyes, opens eyes. I tap my fingers when my hands aren't doing anything, but I have to make sure that every finger is tapped the same amount of times, and I only tap one at a time. I tap my index finger, 2x, middle, ring, pinky, thumb, 2x, then back. I continue doing this until I have something to do. Think up conversations I have with strangers then end up never talking to those strangers. I think of arguments with everyone, strangers, friends, family, etc. Stepped on a crack with my right foot, now I need to step on one with my left. Oh but you stepped in the center of the pavement with the last 2 left steps. Better make those next 2 right steps center to balance it out. Sometimes I find myself walking like a freaking moron to keep some stupid made up rhythmic balance going. When I was in elementary middle school this crap controlled my life. I couldn't walk anywhere without making sure I took the same amount of steps on each foot and always ended on the 4th step. Not a habit so much as a reflex, but oftentimes when I'm thinking of something embarrassing from my past I'll uncontrollably blurt out a random word, phrase or even just a noise, regardless of if I'm alone or in public. I get a sudden cold chill through my body and I shake my head to wipe the memory away. If there's nobody in house, I'll just talk to myself endlessly and walk around. I cannot watch anything through continuously and silently. I have to pause or interject to riff and commentate. I meow at my cat. I've been meowing at my cats for a while now to the point where I start to do it with my friend's cat. Sometimes I forget not everyone meows at their cats but they're missing out. Me and my cats have great conversations. Whenever I'm talking to someone that has an accent, I slowly start to subconsciously mimic their accent. It makes it seem like I'm mocking him her and I hate it. Why. I'll randomly raise my arm while laying in bed and just let it stay there as if I'm Hermione Granger in potion class. I did this a lot when I was younger and still do it occasionally. I even fell asleep like that sometimes and woke myself up because of my arm falling. One night, for some reason, I wanted to videotape myself sleeping to see if I did anything weird. About 2 hours in, while asleep, I raised my arm and had it up there for almost 3 minutes before lowering it. I always have to have my feet propped on something when I'm sitting. I usually either perch like a gargoyle or sit cross-legged. I can sit normally when I have to, but I'll either be bouncing a leg or wiggling a foot unless I put in conscious effort. The thought of having to have both feet flat on the ground while seating gives me a weird anxiety I've never thought about. If I can't tuck one leg under me, I will cross my legs. I bite the inside of my cheeks. I can't remember a time when I haven't done it, and I've never been able to break the habit. I've been doing this the entire time, reading everyone else's habit. I do, however, remember not doing it as a kid, so this is a more recent habit for me. I like to hold a pillow when sitting on the couch, although that may be because I don't like people seeing my rolls. I have to hold a pillow too, in couch and in bed, tucked under my chin usually. It's so bad that even on extremely hot days I will sweat myself half to death because I need pillow. If I get home and I really have to pee, I do all my errands before peeing, even if I'm bursting. For example, changing into comfy clothes, putting groceries away. And the sudden urge to use the toilet always increases exponentially the moment you enter your house. Not sitting or laying in bed with outside clothes. I have a weird compulsion to experience equal stimuli. Accidentally scuff your left shoe while walking. Go to scuff the right one. Oops, that scuff was too hard. Gotta rescuff left again, just a tad. Damn it, too much. Rescuff right, not enough. Scuff again, and drat, too much. Go to rescuff the left again. Also, I'm not sure how to describe it, but sometimes my nails feel too detached from my fingers. I'll, apply pressure on the pads of my finger, right under the nail, until the nail is entirely touching flesh, then release. But wait, that was too much pressure on my left index. Gotta do the right now, and, damn it. Also, kind of related, when I was a child, if I didn't get my intonation for words quite right, I'd repeat it to myself very softly, sometimes just the one syllable, or partial syllable, that I got wrong. This led to an almost constant string of barely audible, to others, grunts and sounds that I always was afraid other people would hear and judge me for. I blow dry my lady parts after my shower, on cool, of course. I have such strong arguments with myself in my head, it will affect my mood. Many times, I've been pee. I was thinking to myself, wow, that was so uncalled for, who the frick would say that? Then I remember it was me to me. Also, I have strong visualizations. Like one time, I cried because our son didn't get his scholarship and we couldn't afford the school he wanted to go to. Then I remember I'm 26. Financially stable, not married, nor do I have kids. Like one time, I cried because our son didn't get his scholarship and we couldn't afford the school he wanted to go to. Well, that's understandable. Then I remember I'm 26. Financially stable, not married, nor do I have kids. Oh. If I freak up any part of a song while I'm in the car, I just start singing gibberish until the song is over. I count the steps as I walk up and down stairs. Recently it's branched out to counting the steps when I'm walking or any repetitive movement sound. I have to sleep with a fan in my face. Does anyone else crack their back multiple times a day just by subtly adjusting their posture? When I think about doing something, I have to do it. For example, if I am walking somewhere and I think I have to touch that tree, then I must. I know nothing will happen if I do, but if I think it, I must do it. This has come to the point where I'm bringing sticks and rocks home because I think I want that rock. Maybe you should try thinking an opposing thought immediately after, to counter the action. I want that rock. I want that rock to stay exactly where it is and for me to immediately forget about it. When I watch or read something embarrassing, I put my hand in front of my face and just peek through my fingers like I'm watching a horror movie. Second-hand embarrassment is the worst. I almost always place a TV remote face down on the couch. The buttons are made of what feels like a rubber material and prevent the remote from inadvertently sliding away, particularly when you are putting the remote on the arm of the couch. I need access to water at all times. Going somewhere? Need a water bottle. Bedtime? 2 water glasses. Movie theater featuring salty popcorn? 2 water bottles. Your girl likes to hydrate. I used to chew plastic. Really bad. Water bottle tops, pen caps, other soft plastic. Was just a nervous tick for a while, and have made a conscious effort to get off the habit, but yeah, it's weird. Username checks out. Checking behind the shower curtain before I sit down to use the bathroom because, yeah no, murders and such. Freaking spiders and cockroaches. I sleep with a shirt on my face. Keeps out the light, and partially blocks noise over my ears. Eating round sandwiches, burgers, even cookies, around the edge so that the filling doesn't fall off. I brush my teeth like a freaking monster. Toothpaste drips everywhere, and half the toothbrush and my hand will be covered with toothpaste by the end of the carnage. I don't know how to explain this, but here we go. Say I have a plate of food. I'll automatically try and find the perfect bit of the meal and eat it last, eating around the perfect bit. Please tell me I'm not the only one. When the perfect bite turns out to not be as tasty as the rest, it's such a letdown. I have to get my hands wet before I put soap on when I wash them. I think that soap is uncomfortable to touch with dry hands. I've always felt like I was not getting my hands clean if I put soap on dry hands. I flush the toilet while I am still peeing in a way that I finish peeing just as the water finally goes down the pipe. I don't know how much time this actually saves, but I've been doing it for years, so it's a habit now. Same, but I always miss time. While playing a game, watching a movie, I constantly adjust the volume up and down subconsciously to even out the booming background music and people talking. I do this even more when others are watching. Subtitles. Bruh. Love that crap. Wet my hands before scrubbing with liquid soap. Everyone else seems to do soap first, but I just feel like the soap is sticky and doesn't lather well unless my hands are wet first. This is actually the correct way to wash your hands. I take my shirt off before dropping a deuce. It's something about feeling cool air on your body. It really helps with the process. With a shirt you feel constricted, like a caged animal being forced to defecate on demand. Wet my toothbrush before I put toothpaste on and then immediately after. Totally. For me, the pre-rinse is to wash off dust and any crap bits floating about. The post-rinse is to water it down for a more agreeable texture. Who else sits in the shower? It's easier to peel your orange if you're sitting. When in a moving car on a residential street, driving or not, I lift toes on my right foot when a driveway on the right lines up with the front of the car, and put them back down when the car has passed. Same with left foot. Pretty sure I'm on the spectrum. I could easily go to the search bar on Netflix and look for the title, but I absolutely need to go through all Netflix manually to find the title. I don't know why, but I like looking for it rather than using the search and saving way more time. You have been visited by the happy baby pygmy murder cow. Back away slowly and subscribe quickly to ensure your safety. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.